This is called Ranking Every SMG in Siege X from worst to best by Showerhead.
Taking it upon myself to rank every SMG in Siege X so that we know which ones are meta and which ones to avoid moving forward in this new era of Siege. Do remember that this tier list is entirely based on my opinion. If you do not agree, that is fine. Let me know down in the comments which ones you disagree with the most. Without further ado, let's just
Same. If you agree or disagree, just type in chat.
jump straight into it with the Uzi. Now, in my opinion, the Uzi is actually a pretty solid SMG. However, I probably wouldn't put it any higher than the low end of A tier, and the one downside of it is the fact that it's only attached to Thorn, who I believe is one of the worst defenders in the game. If Ubisoft actually went out of their way to buff her gadget, maybe this weapon would actually become more viable and maybe it could actually go up into S tier one day. Moving on from that weapon though, we now have the Caveira SMG, and this is easily going into D tier. This SMG has a very slow fire rate, does not pack a punch at all, is attached to Caveira, who again is not one of the best defenders in the game, and just overall I don't think anyone enjoys using this weapon. Everyone plays Caveira for that pistol, and to be honest, you might as well rock the shotgun, the Spaz 12, when using Caveira instead of this SMG because it's so bad. With that being said though, moving on, we now have the Echo SMG. This is the MP5 SD, the suppressed MP5, and if you thought the MP5 was good, the suppressed version is just as good. This only comes equipped, I believe, on Echo. I don't know why this isn't available on someone like Nook, for example. I feel like it should be, but it isn't. But this SMG is actually very, very good. High fire rate, still has a very solid damage considering it has a built-on suppressor on that thing. I personally don't like to play a lot of Echo, so I don't really have much experience with this weapon, but I
I don't play Echo, but I heard it's really good. So that's interesting. Yeah, we'll see about that. But A2. I mean, I don't know honestly because I don't play them, but okay.
just know for a fact it is very, very good. Speaking of good weapons then, we actually have another underrated SMG. This is the PDW-9. Now this comes equipped on Jackal as well as on Osa, but the thing is, I don't think many people really play Osa like that, and to be honest, anyone who plays Jackal, I feel like usually choose the assault rifle, and this SMG is heavily underrated. I'm going to put it in A tier. It has a massive magazine, high fire rate, and the recoil pattern is, I'm pretty sure, just completely vertical, so it's very easy to control over those long periods of burst, especially when you have a compensator on. After the PDW then, we have the Vector. Now this is another very, very good SMG.
I really like the Vector on Mira. I really like it. It's one of my favorite SMGs in the game. I want to say it's my favorite SMG in the game, but it's quite good.
It's one of the most meta SMGs in the game. The fire rate on this thing is crazy. The Uzi, by the way, I am knocking down to the low end of A tier, just as a little side note there. But going back to that Vector, on operators like Goyo, you also get an ACOG on that thing, which is insane. And then obviously you have Mira. She is a good operator as well. She doesn't get the ACOG on it, but it is still a very good weapon on her. Moving on from the Vector then, we have the T5 SMG, and this is going straight up into S tier. And to be honest, this is going to be struggled to get dethroned at the top of S tier. This might be arguably the best SMG in the game. I know it's my favorite SMG in the game. This is definitely the one I like using the most. In terms of time to kill and stuff like that, I don't know if it is number one. I don't think it is. The recoil on this thing is basically non-existent, and the recoil that it does have is very easily managed. After the T5 then,
the recoil is on that is very manageable. So if if you play it, it's super easy to control. It's not that bad. You can get a nice aim on it. So I agree with I don't know. I don't know if I agree agree S, but it's definitely at least A.
We have the Scorpion Evo. Now this one does have a pretty unpredictable fire pattern. It's very horizontal, very jumpy around, but it does still have a very high fire rate, still very meta in the game right now. It's a shame it doesn't come equipped on anyone other than Ela, but it is still an A tier SMG. Doing a quick zoom out then and moving on to...
Yeah, it's a pretty good gun. I don't play Ela, and because the Ela's gadget and her is pretty bad right now. But the gun's good, definitely.
The K1A. This is only found on Vigil, and even though it's not a very great SMG, it's one of my personal favorite weapons in the entire game. I used to main Vigil a few years ago, and when I used to main him, this was definitely my favorite weapon in the whole game, and I still have a soft spot in my heart for it, but I genuinely don't think I can put it above B tier. I think it's high end of B tier, but I don't think it goes up into A tier. I don't think it quite competes consistently with the weapons up in A. And once again, I'm knocking the Uzi down to the bottom of A tier, by the way. Moving on then from the K1A, we have the Alibi SMG, the MX4 Storm, another SMG that I'd love to see more operators get a chance to have, because I hate playing Alibi, but it's hard to deny this is an S tier weapon. If this was available on any other operator that was actually good, this would easily be nerfed instantly and probably influence how the operator is picked as well, because this SMG is so heavily designed. Either way, the next weapon on this list is the AUG that is found on Kaid, and once again, this is not a very desirable weapon. This is going to go in B tier as well.
Every time I play Kaid I'm not a fan of the AUG at all. I'm just not a fan, honestly. I play it instead of the shotgun, but I probably should switch to the shotgun because it's not that great of a good SMG at all.
Well, even though it does still get the job done, you are playing as Kaid, so you don't really need to rely on fragging. You're more of a stay on the bomb site, be an anchor kind of operator, so it's fine for his purpose. But if we're ranking the weapons solely on the weapons, this struggles to get out of B tier, and to be honest, it's very, very bang average. It's got a medium fire rate, medium recoil. It's literally bang average in almost every stat. After the AUG then, we have the FMG9, another one that I think is a little bit underrated, but I don't think gets up into A tier.
Yeah, it's not that good.
I think it's above the two ones that are in B tier already, but I don't think it's that much better, if you know what I mean. I think all of the weapons in A tier are significantly better than the FMG9, and I think there is a clear disparity between these two tiers so far. It's a shame also that every single time the FMG9 features on an operator, it kind of gets outshone. On operators like Smoke, for example, everyone just runs the shotgun, so no one really uses this SMG that much. After the FMG9 then, we have the P10 Roni, which if it had a bigger magazine, again, would be S tier, but to be completely honest, I'm struggling to put it above these two weapons in A tier right now because it has such a small magazine. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have insane aim and you're able to control the recoil and you're able to control your sprays, this weapon is probably the best in the game. But for me personally, I can't control those sprays. If I start firing, you know I'm emptying that mag because I'm missing every single bullet. Next up then, we have the MP5K, another weapon that I'm sliding straight into A tier. High fire rate, decent recoil, manageable recoil pattern as well, solid magazine size, nothing to complain about here. In my opinion, it feels like a slightly better FMG9 in a way.
People just play dog because of MP5, so yeah, like it's a very good gun, honestly. It's better than the suppressed version, but yeah, very good gun. Common pick. All in all, solid.
Kind of strange. After that then, we have the UMP. Now this has a slow fire rate, but it also has one of the best and easy to manage recoil patterns in the game. So I would go top end of B tier just because it's easy to hit headshots with this thing. Very similar to Frost's SMG actually. And I'm going to put both of these weapons right next to each other at the top end of B tier. But like I said, both of these weapons are great for headshots, so it's easy to get killed if your aim is good. But moving on over to the MP5, we all know this is one of the most meta SMGs in the game right now. I think the T5 is my personal favorite weapon, so maybe there's a little bit of bias coming in here, but I think these three weapons are easily the most meta SMGs in the game. Next up, we have the P90, which I think is another A tier weapon. High magazine,
Yeah, 18 makes sense. It's got a high magazine, nice fire rate.
It does have quite a bit of kick, but if you can control it, because it is mainly vertical
Like,
recoil, it is another good
got a bit of
SMG,
bigger-
kind of like the
does it have the
Scorpion.
recoil,
If
though?
you can control either of
Problem?
these SMGs, they're great. Next up, we have the 919 of VSN, another weapon that is my personal favorite in the game, even though statistically it's probably not one of the best in the game.
I personally don't like
think
it.
it does belong in A tier. I think I'd rather
I would
take
put it
it
B tier, to be honest.
over the P90, the Scorpion, the MP5K, and the Uzi, in my personal opinion. But with that being said, one more zoom out for these last two SMGs. We have the MP7, which is also going up into S tier, in my opinion. This has insane iron sights, by the way. If you've never used iron sights on this, give it a go. It is so goddamn fun. But this weapon still is just great in terms of the fire rate, the recoil pattern on it is good, and obviously the damage also holds up quite well. So even if you're not hitting headshots,
Yeah.
it's still a pretty solid SMG.
I agree
And then
with
the
that one.
MPX is kind of like the MP5, but less recoil and a little bit less damage. So in my opinion, it goes above the P10 Roni, and I don't think it is as good as the MP5.
Yeah, I would
SD.
knock it down a little bit lower, but I mean, yeah, this list. I mean, look at it. I would put. I don't know. I would put. I would put Capcan's gun, this SMG, I forgot what it's called, down a B. Under Frost. I'd honestly, and put my personal, I'll put Frost up an A. Above this. Honestly, above this entire bottom row. I'll put Frost on. I wish you swap these two placements. And put this top of A instead of S. Yeah, that's all I would do.